The tsunami that took place in 2004, which badly affected many of our 21 member states, actually was a wake-up call for the entire region and also for the IORA to try and put in place a plan for emergency preparedness. I think the manner in which the international community first came together to put together a preparedness plan, and on the second level there was the national preparedness, the member states that came together and formulated an emergency response system, is actually extremely useful. But the fact remains that there are huge gaps. The IORA has several member states which are weak economies and are therefore dependent on other member states or on the international community to help them in case of an emergency. Now, as far as putting in place a comprehensive integrated emergency preparedness plan for the entire Indian Ocean region, it is still early days. So there is a role, which we, of course, the primary role is that of the government or the public sector. But I think we are reaching out towards other stakeholders in order to see how good, how responsive, and how dynamic a preparedness plan we can put together for the Indian Ocean region. But of course, it's the fact that the government has to play a leading role is a given. But then the supplementary role or the complementary role that has to come from all the other stakeholders, in which the business community plays a very important role under their CSR or even as an active role player in an emergency. The fact that businesses suffer is itself an indication in order to bring back normalcy. It's obvious that the private sector has to play an important role, and at the end of the day, it's the private sector that will gain. If people gain, I'm sure the private sector would have played its due in the whole scene. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, Singapore organized a capacity building program. There are capabilities and capacities which we've assessed in the region, and there are countries which need a huge amount of help in capacities, and there are advanced economies which have very superior systems where capabilities can be shared with other member states. What the IORA has been successful in doing is to build a mechanism that brings all these countries together, whether they are least developed countries, developing countries, emerging economies or advanced economies, to put them on the same plane and to try and match what are the gaps which some countries can fill and what are the deficiencies which some countries have. And I think to a great extent we've succeeded in several sectors, lesser in emergency preparedness sector, which I would like to confess, because it's one of the sectors which has not unfortunately got its due from IORA. But I think this conference can be a start for that. I think the fact that we are hosting it in Mauritius is in itself a starting point for us to look at the small island developing states which have concerns of their own regarding emergencies that could come from climate change, could come from man-made or natural disasters. Now, again, as I said, as we do in IORA, if we can sit together, put together our best practices, our experiences, and most importantly, our readiness to regionalize our cooperation, which is what the IORA does best. It is important that the region comes together in this. It is so much easier to respond to an emergency if we all put our hands together. And I hope the conference will succeed in doing just that.